But of people who are 30 and under, the percentage is almost 4 times as many among Americans. So the religious right, they have been lobbying with millions upon millions of dollars for decades upon decades in Washington, D.C., and the Secular Coalition for America, we've existed for 5 years. But we have justice on our side, and we have the trends on our side, and we are going to be successful, but we need your active leadership and involvement. Sometimes I see people who, when they care about the separation of church and state, they say, oh, we're doomed. You know, our side is not going to succeed, and I couldn't disagree more. I am completely optimistic about the future of this country if each and every one of you are involved. You know, President Jimmy Carter has said that he has traveled to 125 nations since he has left the White House. And he has noted that when he goes around the world, he sees that the people in the world have chosen John Lennon's song Imagine on their own as something akin to a national or really a world anthem. And people know the words to that song and what it says about human experience. Because Madison, who was a lawyer, and Lennon, who was a poet, each became increasingly focused in their life on how we can help and improve the way human beings interact with each other. To, as Aeschylus said, tame the savageness of man and make gentle the life of this world. Madison imagined a constitution that was a mechanism for ever-increasing justice, and John Lennon's song Imagine constitutes a vision of a world for which each passing generation shows increasing passion. But our efforts in this room have not yet been worthy, not yet worthy of their vision. We have to do more. In the scripture, God instructs Abraham to kill his son. And we should remember that story. But we should also remember the story of Amia White, that little 2-year-old girl dying alone in that van in the sun. We need to remember Jessica Crank, that 15-year-old girl dying from that horrible, hideous, and needless tumor. We cannot sit silently while a modern Abraham is authorized to kill their child. Not in this century, not with our laws, and not with our Constitution. You know, it was the vicious Joe McCarthy era that foisted upon us the phrase, one nation under God, when we've always really been one nation under the Constitution. It is time to rejuvenate. It is time to reinvigorate our true heritage as a nation, and it is up to us in this room to do it. That vision has been constituted. It has been imagined. And now it's up to us. And what I say to you is that we have an obligation to be the ones to be at the time that makes a difference. And so what I'm talking to you about today is not simply about how we can look at these issues, it's how we can implement them. And I want to take a few minutes to talk to you about what I, as Executive Director of Secular Coalition for America, offered to our board as a vision for what we call our secular decade, and tell you how we're pragmatically going to return to separation of church and state and to acceptance of a naturalistic worldview in America. We have specific goals and tactics, and I might even be able to work this. Here we go. We're going to claim our national leadership role. In short, we have a modest goal here. It's to take over America. I hope you'll all join in. And we have specific policy goals. One, Secular Coalition for America will be the go-to organization for religion and policy. Just as people think of you go to the ACLU automatically on those issues, you're going to come to Secular Coalition for America. Reporters and national reporters will come to us. People who are insiders on Capitol Hill will come to us when we address those questions, and we're going to ensconce ourselves in that role by December 31st, 2012. Secular Coalition for America is going to take issues, and we're going to talk about a sense of our compelling justice issues that penetrate broadly into American society, so that informed America, I'm not saying everyone, but people that follow the news, people that participate in the public policy process, will know about Secular Coalition for America and what we're about and what we lobby for. We, with this organization, are going to increase by the thousands the membership of our 10 member organizations. And if you go to our website, you can see who those organizations are. But we are going to increase by the thousands membership in those organizations. Next goal is we're going to have Congress come out of the closet. Congressman Pete Stark is the only non-theistic American self-announced in Congress. We know there are many more who are quietly so, but we want, by the time of the swearing in after the 2018 elections, that there will be 10 or more members of Congress who will be openly non-theistic members of Congress, because we are part of the American tapestry and we deserve to be included just like everyone else. How are we going to get to these goals? Teamwork, activism, and that public policy can be a catalyst. When I talk about these children's issues around the country, people get energized, they want to be involved, they want to help, and we are going to use public policy as a catalyst to help change the face of America. This is how teamwork has been in the movement in the past. We need to really work on this, but those are the bad old days. I think we're going to get to a point where things are improved, and we're going to do unity through policy. Because in our 10-member organizations, we have folks on the one side that are religions. Society for Humanistic Judaism is a religion. Ethical Culture Society, if you're familiar with those folks, also part of our coalition, they are a religion under American law. Then we also have on the other end of the spectrum the American atheists who self-describe as the Marine Corps of non-theism, and they get out there, kind of say why religion is wrong. They're all part of our big tent, but where they all agree is policy. They don't want to see those kids hurt. They don't want to see situations where you have these parsonage palaces, as I call them, where tax deductions are used for multi-million-dollar megachurch ministers. We're going to speak out on those issues, and we're going to drive our grassroots growth through that. Next, we're going to talk to people so that we connect with the average citizen about our issues and connect with them. And connect with them at an emotional level. I think sometimes this movement tends to be a little bit cerebral. We need to talk to people about where their hearts are and about where their emotions are, because that's a valid form of communication. Here's our 8 tactics as to exactly how we're going to do that, leading us to our secular goals. One is we at Secular Coalition for America. If you go to our website, you'll see this. We are expanding the number of issues on which we will lobby. Secondly, we are increasing our lobbying effort. We are putting in more hours lobbying on behalf of secular Americans and separation of church and state. Third, we are improving our communications efforts. We are going to get out there and work with the traditional media and the new media and make a big difference. I just hired a new communications manager. We're going to start penetrating more broadly into the public. Fourth, we're going to have a more robust networking opportunity through Facebook, through Twitter, through blogging, through podcasts. We are going to penetrate into American society more broadly using new media. Fifth, we have a 50-state strategy, and I hope you will all consider involvement in this. I'm doing a grassroots training in Santa Cruz, California on Monday. By the time this decade is out, there will be a secular coalition for California, a secular coalition for Idaho. There'll be a secular coalition in all 50 states advocating on behalf of separation of church and state, advocating on behalf of acceptance of non-theistic Americans. We are going to achieve that goal, and if people are interested, we can talk about specifics about getting involved in that. The next issue is outreach to broaden our base. We're going to talk to a broad group. Sometimes folks in our coalition, they can be people who are wonderful, who sometimes skew to the 65-year-old philosophy professor demographic. It's a good demographic, and I'm glad they're there. But we need to do more. So we're going to reach out, and we're going to say, let's involve ourselves with the libertarian community. We're going to talk to people who are gay non-theists. We're going to talk to women's rights advocates. We're going to get out there and start including more people in this movement. But the biggest group we're going to go out to is sort of the average citizen, the Joe Six-Pack, if you will. We want to talk to him. Because I can tell you, I think he agrees with us. When you talk about, oh, what, this little girl, she died? No. Joe Six-Pack's on our side. He's with us. We just got to tell him the story. We got to talk to your average, everyday soccer mom, many of whom, you might be surprised, many average, everyday soccer moms are non-theistic, and I'm going to do my best to reach out to just like your typical everyday soccer mom. Actually, Angelina Jolie is a non-theistic American, and I'm working hard to try to contact her, about our issues. We're going to hold a policy summit, and we're going to talk next year in Washington, D.C. Not your typical convention like many of our member groups do and do so well, but a summit where we talk about how we're going to strategize, get the lawyers together for our movement, get the communications people together for our movement, get technology and computer people together for our movement, and say, how can we succeed? How can we improve what we're doing as a movement? And we're going to strategize in a way to take over America. We also have an internship program in Washington, D.C. So if people are interested or know people, young people who'd want to intern, they can either work on Capitol Hill and be associated with our organization with a small scholarship, and to some degree be involved with Secular Coalition in our very small and modest office. Love to have people involved. So these are the ways we're going to change America. These are our 10-member organizations, which is us. And I'm telling you about this because we want to have a really broad vision, but I want to know and want you to know that a plan, like the plan we have here, means accountability, and that I am accountable to you. That is, I want you to be saying, today, tomorrow, next year, Sean, how's that plan going? Because I owe it to you. You're my boss, that I lobby for you in Washington. I want you to be communicating with me and saying, how's it going? But I also say that you're responsible, and you're responsible, that everyone in this room, if you care about these issues, I'm looking to you to get involved. I'm devoting the rest of my life to this issue every day. And I want you to say, I will devote a little bit of my time every day to this cause, because I think it is essential that we reframe this entire debate. What I've been trying to illustrate here on behalf of this movement is we need to look at things in new ways. You know, we are known, and should be known, that we don't want to have, in God we trust as official language in government, and that's true. But we should be equally known by the American public, by the media, by members of Congress, for opposing these faith healers who think they have special rights to let their children die and be tortured. We are out there saying, as we have been for years, saying no to a creche on public land in a town square, and we should be known for that. But we should also be known, equally known, for stopping fundamentalists from denying condoms to people in the developing world and stopping scientifically based education regarding sexually transmitted diseases. We should be known, and we are known, regarding our opposition to the National Day of Prayer, but let us be equally known that we will stop religious schools that get out there and say, this is true, that they have special rights to hit children in religious schools that secular schools do not have. We want to be known for that. We oppose having under God in the pledge, but we also want to be known for opposing these parsonage palaces that get special tax breaks for sometimes multi-million-dollar homes on our dime. We want to oppose that cross on a hill, whether it's stolen or not. I don't know. But we all